If you've been paying attention to the gaming scene lately, you know it's been absolutely dominated by dark, moody, and straight-up terrifying survival horror. From zombies to mutants, devs are constantly reinventing the genre, trying to blow our minds with new mechanics, insane settings, and next-level visuals. Buckle up, because today we're breaking down the most hype announcements and upcoming releases that promise to deliver some serious chills and an unforgettable experience.
The folks at Techland are at it again. Forget Haran and Vildor. This time you're surviving in the middle of nowhere in some godforsaken rural backcountry. The company officially announced a brand new game in the Dying Light universe. Dying Light: The Beast. And no, this isn't Dying Light 3, it's a full-blown, standalone adventure that started as a big DLC idea, but grew into something much bigger. You'll play as the familiar protagonist from the original Dying Light. Fate hasn't been kind to him. After years of brutal experiments, he's finally broken free. But this freedom is different. Something now flows in his veins, granting him superhuman abilities. And that's the main selling point. Imagine, you're not just parkouring across roofs and whacking zombies with a pipe. You have game-changing power. Expect a completely new gameplay experience. The classic run-and-hit formula is getting a major upgrade, with powerful abilities that let you interact with the open world and eliminate threats in fresh ways. The world promises to be detailed. You'll explore creepy forests, abandoned villages, and mysterious anomalies hidden in the boonies. The game already has a Steam page with a release date of September 17th, 2025. Techland is clearly looking to surprise fans again and break the mold of the series.
If you love survival horror, then a new project called Retrieval needs to be on your radar. It's the debut game from Studio 333 Studios, and it looks like these newcomers are coming in hot. The engine? Unreal Engine 5. And that means we're not just getting good graphics, we're getting a full-on next-gen visual feast. They're promising an incredibly detailed and atmospheric world where every glint of light and shadow works to build a sense of dread. But the main focus here is the story. The devs are betting on a deep narrative with crazy plot twists. This isn't just a shooter, it's an exploration of friendship, love, and loyalty set against a backdrop of pure cosmic horror. You play as the commander of the Hanalash research team. Your ship crashes on the alien planet Retrieval, and you find yourself trapped on a giant, eerily empty, retro-futuristic base. This is where you'll have to uncover its soul-chilling secrets. This is a world where simple survival is the first priority. Every corner hides a lethal threat, and the enemies you meet will haunt your nightmares. You won't have to wait long. Retrieval is scheduled for release in 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. Get ready to test your nerves.
The legendary master of horror and father of the slasher genre, John Carpenter, the genius behind The Thing, Halloween, and Escape from New York, is making a huge splash in the gaming world. This time, he's teaming up with Saber Interactive, the studio behind the worldwide zombie hit World War Z, to deliver the most insane co-op shooter of the year, Toxic Commando. The story takes us to a near but bleak future. Humanity, in its endless thirst for energy, drilled right into the planet's magma and triggered a universal-scale catastrophe. A fateful experiment to extract energy from the Earth's core went haywire, tearing the very fabric of reality. An ancient, toxic ooze called the Taint poured out, instantly transforming all life into an army of nightmarish, mutated zombies. The only force capable of fighting back this apocalypse is you, the Toxic Commando Squad. With 3 other fearless mercs, 4-player co-op, you're not just holding the line, you're going on a full-blown, loud offensive. The gameplay is pure catharsis. You'll get a huge arsenal, from standard firearms you can upgrade beyond recognition to classic katanas from melee mayhem. a class system, a diverse fleet of awesome rides to cruise the open world, and of course, endless hordes of monsters to shred. It's all in there. But the main attraction is the unique vibe. The game's world is a love letter to the 80s. Think comic books, over-the-top action flicks, and Carpenter-inspired horror. Expect acid trippy colors, a banging soundtrack, and tons of references. Toxic Commando is slated for an early 2026 release on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Get ready for the most epic and insane zombie apocalypse from a legend.
Pioneer isn't just another post-apocalyptic game. It's an explosive hybrid, a crazy mix of a dynamic FPS and a deep survival sim that channels the very essence of Stalker and Metro. A real find for fans of harsh, atmospheric worlds. The project's strength is its creators. The game is being forged by a studio founded by veterans who worked on titans like STALKR 2, Heart of Chernobyl, Atomic Heart, and Metro Exodus. Their experience speaks for itself. These guys know how to build tension and immersion, and they're not here to mess around. The action unfolds across an alternate Soviet Union, cut off from the rest of the world by a horrific technogenic catastrophe and plunged into chaos and decay. And the corresponding atmosphere isn't just a backdrop, it's a full-fledged character. Creepy creatures, cunning mutants, deadly anomalies, and mysterious artifacts await their discoverers. Practically all the game's content is a retrospection of the USSR era. Cars, weapon models, everyday objects. Every detail is dripping with the spirit of that time. The architecture is recreated with stunning accuracy. The player gets a huge arsenal of all kinds of firearms, and each gun is a real constructor set. It can be modded with tons of attachments that don't just improve it, but drastically change its characteristics. When you first arrive on the mysterious island, your initial goal will be the most basic: just survive. You'll need to scrounge up your first weapon, some armor, and gear. Surviving the aggressive and dangerous environment is the second major part of Pioneer's gameplay. However, the devs promise balance. Without overly convoluted mechanics, the game should stay comfortable for a more casual audience, finding a sweet spot between arcade and simulation. The shooter, Pioneer, is scheduled for release in 2025. It will be available on Windows, Linux, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Konami and Bloober Team have published the long-awaited new trailer for the remake of the cult classic horror Silent Hill 2. This isn't just a re-release, it's a full-blown reimagining of the legendary Japanese game, built on the powerful Unreal Engine 5. The new dev team is treating the source material with huge respect. They aim to keep all the key plot twists and unique oppressive atmosphere while also diversifying and improving the gameplay experience. Specifically, we're getting a completely overhauled and improved combat system. The most important news for fans: Masahiro Ito, the very game designer who was at the franchise's origins and created its unique visual style, is personally involved in the development. The new trailer looks incredibly atmospheric and effective, and that's no accident. It's essentially a remake of the legendary 2001 trailer. Many scenes literally shot-for-shot recreate famous moments from the original, all set to an updated, piercing version of Akira Yamaoka's Promise. It's the highest form of respect for the legacy, guaranteed to give longtime fans chills. Alongside this, a big gameplay demo was released. The video shows the very beginning, exploring the foggy town of Silent Hill and the first brutal encounters with Pyramid Head himself. And judging by what we saw, the game's unique oppressive atmosphere is definitely intact. The visuals, in terms of detail and grim aesthetic, resemble the incredibly successful Resident Evil 4 remake. However, unlike Capcom's work, which had almost no optimization issues, the community has some justified concerns here. The Unreal Engine 5 can be notoriously tricky. Its stunning visuals are often accompanied by a lack of proper optimization. Let's hope that's not the case for Silent Hill 2.
Get ready to dive into the grim world of Hunger, a new project from GotFan Corporation. This isn't just a game, it's a true symbiosis of legendary titles like Hunt and Outlast, transplanted into the heart of an alternate Europe engulfed in the flames of the Napoleonic Wars. Genre-wise, it's textbook PvPvE action with a twist. The devs have generously seasoned it with horror dread, slasher intensity, and deep RPG mechanics. The story tells of a world fallen before a monstrous plague that has cut down countless lives. A handful of survivors found refuge behind the walls of an ancient chateau. But you can't hide forever. As a survivor, you'll regularly risk it all by heading out on deadly raids for resources and hope. The gameplay boasts a huge arsenal to keep things fresh. At your disposal, flintlock pistols and heavy muskets, crushing grenades, battle axes, and elegant maces. And that's just a taste of what the devs have cooked up. Your character gets a deep progression system with hundreds of different skills, so everyone can find their own unique style of fighting for existence. Important, the game is out now. You can find it not only on Steam, but also on the Epic Games Store. Just keep in mind, the project is currently in early access, so its final release is still ahead. So what do you think of this lineup? I'm sure something here caught your eye. Let me know in the comments which one you're most hyped for. Alright guys, catch you in the next one.
God save Birmingham! Buckle up and sharpen your pitchforks. At Gamescom, the studio Ocean Drive made a huge splash with their new project, God Save Birmingham. Forget everything you think you know about the Middle Ages. This is an epic fight for survival against hordes of the undead. The game is set, strangely enough, in the heart of 14th century England, Birmingham. But don't expect royal jousts and noble knights. You're just a simple peasant, and your main tool isn't a sword, it's a trusty pitchfork. You're the last line of defense against an apocalypse way scarier than the Black Plague. The gameplay looks chaotic, fun, and unpredictable. You'll explore a huge open world, craft gear, and find new ways to send zombies back to their graves. The main hook? The advanced physics that turns every encounter into a circus of absurdity. Launch a zombie with your pitchfork, watch it tumble down a castle staircase, or knock crowds of enemies into a river. The comedy potential is off the charts. The game is announced for Steam Early Access, but the exact date you can dive into this chaos is still a mystery. One thing's for sure, Birmingham has never been this fun and this dead at the same time.
Forget everything you know about surviving the zombie apocalypse. The trailer for State of Decay 3, shown at the recent Xbox Game Showcase, made it clear from the first second, this isn't just a sequel, it's a full-on revolution for the entire series. And the biggest deal? The entire bone-chilling gameplay trailer was captured in-engine. No pre-rendered CGI, no cinematic tricks, just the raw, brutal power of the upcoming hit. This means we're getting an incredibly detailed, terrifyingly alive, and downright grim world that will be scary to enter alone, but incredibly fun to explore with friends. Life after the end of the world has gotten even harsher. The events of the third part take place many years after the fall of civilization. Nature has almost reclaimed the ruins of cities, and the threats have evolved. The dev team didn't just improve the gameplay, they reimagined it. Get ready for a completely new combat system. Every hit, every shot has incredible weight and impact. Chop zombies with frightening realism, feeling every bone crunch under the blade of your makeshift weapon. The animations are smooth and cinematic, and the enemies are far more varied and possibly even smarter. Unfortunately, the exact date we can dive into this chaos is still shrouded in fog. Nobody knows for sure. However, all signs point to a release no earlier than late 2024 or possibly early 2025. One thing's for sure, when the game launches on PC and Xbox consoles, it will be available on Game Pass from day one. The wait will be long, but it looks like it'll be worth it. Check your supplies and gear. This apocalypse is gonna be the most hardcore one yet.
Atomfall isn't just about survival. It's your personal descent into the darkest, most dangerous world you can imagine. Every breath could be your last, and your one and only goal is to stay alive. The action takes place in legendary but hopelessly ruined London. You'll wander among majestic ruins that were once bustling with life and now hold only deadly secrets. You'll face an endless search for scarce resources, fierce fights with monstrous mutants, and tense encounters with other survivors whose intentions are always questionable. At the center of this storm is a former scientist. This isn't some faceless soldier, but a man driven by the most powerful force, the desire to find his family and get to the bottom of the global catastrophe that tore the world apart. The gameplay masterfully blends adrenaline-pumping action with the harsh laws of the survival genre. You won't just be looking for ammo, you'll need to meticulously gather every nail, every scrap of cloth to craft deadly weapons and reliable gear from scavenged junk. A deep crafting system opens up a ton of possibilities. Create unique tools, upgrade them, and get creative to gain an edge. Your arsenal will only be limited by your imagination, from classic firearms to improvised masterpieces born of desperation. But to survive, weapons aren't enough. You need shelter. Build and fortify your own base, the last stronghold against the endless dangers of a hostile world. Atomfall's visual aesthetic is a work of art. The devs have done the impossible, reviving the spirit of the 1950s and fusing it with retro-futurism and the grim allure of the post-apocalypse. The frame is stunningly detailed, and the sound design pulls you in head first, creating a genuinely tense and oppressive atmosphere. The game is out now! Start this journey today on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. Your fight for Dawn begins today!
Tripwire Interactive made a huge noise announcing Killing Floor 3, showing the world the first full gameplay trailer. And yes, this isn't just a tease, the game has a solid release window. What did the studio show? Of course, some juicy fights with hordes of disgusting creatures, pure chaos, ledge sours, and blood splatter. However, most of the trailer wasn't that. It was an interview with the developers themselves. Don't get me wrong, hearing from the creators is cool, but us fans always want more, raw, unfiltered gameplay. We want to see those biomechanical freaks get ripped to pieces. The story will take us to a frighteningly distant future. You'll play as a soldier in a rebel army, fighting the nightmares created by the all-powerful megacorp Horzine. Your enemies aren't just zombies, they're creepy biomechanical hybrids straight from the assembly line of mad engineers. So mark your calendars, folks. The Blood Carnival is officially open. Killing Floor 3 is available now on all major platforms. Time for some cleanup.
Forget nightly tournaments and noble duels. Blight, survival, is your ticket to the darkest, most desperate corner of the Middle Ages, where the rule isn't honor, but the plague. It's a 4-player co-op horror where you and your crew won't just chop through hordes of the Walking Dead and desperate bandits. You'll attempt the impossible, find and destroy the very source of the blight, the monstrous disease consuming these lands. The action takes place in a god-forsaken land where two kingdoms, driven to despair, are waging an endless and pointless war. This bloody purgatory became the perfect breeding ground. A particular blight, a form of plague, has risen from the remains of fallen warriors. Feeding on spilled blood, it gains strength and spreads rapidly, mowing down and turning people into horrific monsters. The last hope for all living things lies with you. Only your handful of brave souls dare to challenge the unknown to put an end to the relentless plague once and for all.
The first shown gameplay was met with loud praise from the community. Viewers and critics especially highlighted the stunning graphics, cinematic animations, and incredibly thick, oppressive atmosphere of despair. Many already see elements of a certain cult zombie action game and have almost unanimously dubbed Blight, Survival, the medieval The Last of Us. As for the release date, December 30th, 2025, the game already has its own Steam page, where anyone can wishlist it and follow its development. It's important to note that the game creates its grim visual masterpieces on the powerful Unreal Engine 5, which explains its impressive looks.